Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. This message is an energy update and some ideas I thought I would share. Hopefully it's helpful, and maybe this aligns with what some of you may have been experiencing. First, I thought I would talk about Passover and how it relates to an inner journey of transformation. This may be connected to what some of you have been going through. So this may be a significant time of liberation or freedom for you in some way. Although we celebrate traditions through ceremonies and observances regularly around certain times every year, each individual has an inner experience and an inner journey that relates to shared collective traditions, ceremonies, and observances. For example, Passover can symbolize the idea of freedom and being liberated from difficulty in a very big way for the first time. We may see this as a memory connected to past experiences, and we may see this as an idea that corresponds to our own journey. Each individual has their own Passover experience, where they develop a change in consciousness, qualities, or character traits, and are able to be free from what was denying the embodiment and the expression of a higher state of consciousness. It's more of a remembering of the pureness of the soul, or restoring the subconscious mind as it was prior to any negative influence, in order to rise into higher aspects of the mind. I guess what you could call the divine mind or superconscious mind. The purification of the subconscious mind means establishing a stronger connection to the source of life within you. You could see this as being freed from past conditionings or being freed from negative impressions that have hindered the full embodiment of a new or higher state of consciousness. It's sort of like a new outfit. You first get the idea of a new outfit, then you go to the store, you buy the new outfit, and there's a time lag between thinking of it, getting that new outfit, and then putting it on. So it's like you've improved your state of mind, and you have this new outfit, or new ideas, a new higher state of consciousness. You're more receptive to these impulses from the higher innermost part of yourself, and now you can put that on. In order to put on a new outfit or a new state, you have to take off another outfit or a previous state. In order to really embody a new higher state of consciousness, the limiting state has to be released or cleansed. You free yourself from the limiting or negative state, and as you do that, you put on the new higher state of being. This is why Passover can be such a profound personal experience, internally, physically. It's stepping into a whole new level of yourself and getting to be who you really are. Then being able to experience the world at a whole new level. And there are many subtle levels of form that we can experience. This kind of relates to some messages that I've shared on Patreon recently. For those of you that are on Patreon and anyone interested, the titles of those videos and the link will be in the description box. Part of rising into a higher new state of consciousness is realizing our unity and our oneness within ourselves, with our world, and as a collective. It's becoming part of a greater shared experience and aware of a greater shared purpose. And we make room for that as we're letting go and then welcoming a new state of consciousness. So letting go of all of what is not aligned with that truth is in order to develop your consciousness from a new foundation or a new starting point. A new starting point is one that is freed and liberated from the past or limiting ideas, negative influences. These things happen simultaneously, although one aspect may seem to be more dominant than another at certain times. You could see this as all the elements, powers, and different aspects of the mind and the subconscious mind harmonizing and coming under the dominion of your higher will, your higher divine will, rather than the personality associated with a past state or ideas of separation, lack, or opposition. When that inner harmony is established, you align with your divine will, which is one with all of creation, and one with the divine purpose of humanity, and one with a greater purpose beyond the collective. Then you can really experience the freedom to express your unique individuality, because it would be more aligned with who you really are, and it wouldn't be acting in opposition to anyone or anything. It would be a harmonious, integrated part of the whole, because all parts of the whole would be harmoniously integrated within yourself and within your own consciousness. Sometimes our individual experiences can align with the timing of the traditions and ceremonies that we observe in the world, in our day-to-day life, in physical time and space. So this time of year may feel more significant to some because of what is taking place within them. It may not just be about reflecting on past experiences. It could be very personal and very present. You may be having your own experience of being freed and delivered from a previous limiting state and stepping into a new higher state of consciousness that you've been working towards or developing. Another way of describing this is when you learn something new, or if you start working on something like a project. First you have the idea, then you take action in some way, and you develop that idea, then you begin to see it take shape. There are people that can paint really well, even though it may have come naturally. It started as an idea, then it was acted upon, then developed and turned into something beautiful, like a piece of art. Passover can be seen as a form of denying what has hindered or what has been in the way from within, and then being able to shift from one state into another state, or one level into another level, one octave into another octave. Part of the process is making peace with the past as well. Easter and the symbolism of the idea of resurrection can align with the inner journey related to Passover. Being resurrected into a new higher state of consciousness can mean being freed from a limiting previous state of consciousness and stepping into a whole new level of yourself, as if the light has returned after a long period of difficulty, struggle, or feeling of separation. It's the experience of feeling the true connection to the life source within you in a new, more clear or profound way. It would be symbolic of being restored, renewed, regenerated, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, like being filled with a new sense of vitality, joy, peace, and an overall feeling of improvement. All inner changes eventually are reflected in other ways, but that can take time. For example, it may take time for the mind to grasp and understand experiences that you've gone through. It may take time to process those experiences, whether it is for clarity within yourself or to have the ability to put them into words and share them. Putting on a new higher state of consciousness can feel like that. It takes time to develop that inner state, to process it, to gain clarity, then it can be embodied and expressed. While the new inner state is being developed, the limiting conditioned state is being cleansed. It's like an inner transmutation. Eventually, a point of internal equilibrium is established, and the limiting state is denied and overcome completely, and the new higher state is put on, integrated, and fully embodied. Then from there, you continue to rise into higher and higher levels of yourself. Trying to be kind, loving, and patient with yourself as much as possible is really helpful during that period of letting go of one state and then stepping into a new higher state of consciousness, because you see the previous state reflected in your world, and you also see the new state developing in your world at the same time. It can be helpful to contemplate yourself as being pure love, pure intelligence, pure joy, pure beauty, rather than attaching the idea of worthiness to specific forms, images, conditions, or circumstances. Working on the inner connection to the source of life within you will allow the outer things to come together more easily in time. You could see it as if there are levels to the mind, and as if we go through this interchange, we allow the natural mind to receive the impulses from the highest, innermost part of ourselves. So the quality of light that we receive and embody changes. At one level, it's love for ourselves, all that we love and identify with because it's good for ourselves. At another level, it is love for the well-being of others, the world as a whole. And then at another level, it's just pure love beyond the self, beyond the world, beyond like a condition or reason to love. It's just the pure feeling of love, pure state of love, or absolute whole, being one and complete. I also see this eclipse coming up in April 20th, as symbolic, just after the celebration of Passover, as a completion of one phase of development and then beginning a new phase of development, like embodying a new pure energy. How this relates to each individual really depends on what each individual is experiencing internally. So this is the energy update and perspective on what Passover can represent, maybe how it relates to your journey. I hope this was helpful. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.